Hey, eighth graders, happy Monday, November 30th, last day of November and last week of trimester one. So think about this trimester one. If you're watching this, you are either a student who is doing great and fine, and it actually probably felt a little easy, but you've gained something out of the last trimester. You've written narrative writing and an essay. You learned about MLA style. You might be the second category of student who's like, you're kind of passing. You've done just enough, but I'll be honest with you. If you're just passing, it's not that impressive. I mean, we lowered things and made it easy for people to do well. So I know that everyone's got a story, but I mean, let's be honest. Like school, we've tried to make it easier. And then that's the third category, which is we really got to change things up because it ain't going well. If you're not going to pass trimester one, something's either really gone wrong in your personal world that's kept you from school, or there's another extreme, which you might be that lazy. Then you might not care about school. So, neither's a good thing. So that's what we got to pay attention. There is some hope for this week. You can get your work in, but that's more doing than learning. So we're not a fan of it. Okay, so today, here's the thing. We got some free writing, and I'm going to give you two options to do that. So let me just basically talk about what free writing is. It's like a journal. So the first thing is, I want you to know this, is that you should just write. When you're free writing, you're not worried about, don't worry about being right. There's no answering of a question in free writing. There's thinking and then writing about your thoughts. So here's my rules. And I think they're the same for Mr. Cush, Mrs. Erickson, Mr. Bettini. Oh, and by the way, stick around to the end for the ultimate challenge at the end of this video. Okay. I'm not going to tell you when, but make sure you stick around and watch the video. Number one, when you're writing, whether you could be writing in a notebook if you want. So today you could be going old school, or you could be typing into this assignment, but do not erase anything. Don't erase. Don't worry about it. Barely, doesn't matter if it's not right or it's not what you wanted to say. You can go into your writing and say, oh, I didn't mean that. I really mean this. Keep your ideas flowing. Don't try to stop and start. Two, don't worry about run-ons or punctuation or like going on forever or like just rambling. We love that. That's what a journal's supposed to be. Three, if you feel like you're done with writing, so if you feel like you've answered the question, don't stop. Go into more detail. For instance, I'm going to ask you to like pick out like what's a good, like something you can make better in your community today. You might write healthcare should be free for everyone. Okay, that answers the question, right? But that's only 7 words. I would suggest that you could brainstorm how you can make it free, and that's going to show me, the listener, your teacher, like a lot more of your thinking. For instance, I might go further and say, healthcare should be free for everyone. We could charge 10 cents more for each gallon of gas and put that money toward health insurance for everyone. That much more explanation helps me see that you're thinking about things. There's going to be people who disagree with that, but it's still an idea, and that's what we want to do. And then keep putting your opinion words one after another until we're looking for a full page of notebook writing. We really want to see like you fill a notebook page or the equivalent of it on your document. So here's what the options are today. You're going to free write for 20 minutes and either option A or option B. Here's option A. You're going to answer 3 questions in your free write. First one's about that job you were assigned yesterday, right? And it's asking you like, how do you think that it connects? I got the gardening crew when I took that same survey you took on Monday. How does that relate to our society? What could I do as a gardening community member that would be important? Second one is think about your community right now: Apple Valley, Eagan, Burnsville, Rosemount, mine, South Minneapolis. And like, what are the 3 most important jobs? And explain that. That's number 2. And number 3, think about your community right now. What are 3 ways that our community could get better? All right. So I think about South Minneapolis and I think about what can make it better. What you can't say is get rid of COVID. That's too obvious. That's a kindergartner could say, like, I think if we got rid of COVID. We're not your 8th graders, so that's off the table. That's option A. You're welcome to do that one. Option B, which is a little bit sort of more elevated, I'd say is a bigger challenge, is to think about one question. And it's about your community and sort of go through the different elements and try to come up with a brainstorm plan on how to have a better community. So you're going to talk about specific things: transportation, healthcare, and access to doctors, money and income. How are people going to get it? Or maybe it's not about income. Maybe it's a barter system. Safety. How are people guaranteed that they won't get hurt or have their stuff stolen? And lastly, think about treatment, the isms, right? How would your community handle racism, sexism, genderism, classism, judgment of people by their appearance and their beliefs? How are you going to attend to that? So that's option B. Either option A or option B is on the table. Okay. And here's the criteria. You can only get 3 points if you fill that page with thoughtful, full of explanation. There's effort in your writing. Notice it doesn't say punctuation. 2.5 would be, yeah, it's pretty solid. Some explanation. Looks like you got almost a full page, or you got to a full page and it's okay. Like you didn't explain much, but it's all there. And then we're getting into like the 2 points. It was meh, right? You answered the questions, but you didn't really show your thinking with explanation. And you clearly didn't write for very long. So that's 2 out of 3. That's 66%. That's not awesome. And lastly, if you just turn this thing in with some minimal work, I'll give you 1 point, but that's 33%. That's just not a 0. That's all that is. So there's your criteria for today. All right. And if you want to know, it's all right here. So the video right here, choose one option, either the yellow or the blue. And then you either take a picture of your notebook and submit that, or you give us your writing on the actual document assignment, right? In fact, you could do a Google Doc and submit that too. Either way, your job is to submit that today. Okay, so last thing I'm going to say is make sure that you get your pandemic sci-fi story turned in. You cannot pass trimester 2 without it. Okay, I hope everyone is well. Hope you had a great break, and we'll see you. Take care.